I recently reposted an old tweet, and it's the one about my iPod animation MP3 player that you can have on stream using Nutty's music widget. Funny thing is, when I posted it the first time, it got 1.8k likes, but now that I quote tweeted it, it got 3.8k likes. So a lot of new people are seeing it for the first time. It's great news that my posts are finally getting some reach, but there's a particular comment that I keep getting under this. And it's the classic, hey, you showed me how to do something, but your example should have been something else. We have a suggestion for a Zune instead of an iPod. This, but as a phone playing a random clip. Another Zune, an iPod photo, which is different. I also got a couple of comments about how the widget isn't compatible with Apple Music, even though I did not make the widget. I just made the 3D animation for the iPod. Anyways, the point of this video is to show you, again, that actually you can create your own. I just show you the tools. If I tell you, hey, here's how to do this thing, and here's an example of what you could use it for, I'm not saying, hey, this thing that I made is the only way that you can use it, and it's the only thing that you can possibly make with it. I'm saying, hey, here are the tools, go be creative with it. So as you can see in this example that I posted afterwards, I showed you that you can actually make 3D devices directly in OBS Studio. You don't need a fancy software like I use for making the original iPod. Since you can make 3D stuff in OBS Studio now, if you watch my videos, you will get the knowledge to create your own. That's pretty much the whole point of my videos. Yes, sometimes I do templates that are not super customizable, but the whole reason why I push myself to do things in OBS Studio from scratch is that you can get that knowledge and basically make whatever you want. When people DM me and they say, hey, would it be possible? My answer is always yes. Start working on it right now. Don't DM me asking for permission of thought, or just start researching and start figuring it out. That's how I come up with my own ideas. I don't DM anyone saying, hey, could I make an iPod in 3D? I just think of the idea and then I figure it out. So I've showcased 3D text before. I showed how to create this reflective glass effect in OBS Studio. I showed you how to extrude a gun in OBS Studio. I showed the entire process of creating a 3D card that would reveal information directly in OBS Studio. Here I'm showing how to do a full 3D rotation on a 3D card. Now this is not real 3D, but I do show how to do the holographic effect on a card completely controlled inside of OBS Studio filters. Here's me making a 3D Nintendo Switch from scratch inside of OBS Studio, which can display clips or replays on stream. And also how to animate it. You'll see here the whole thing is controlled by an OBS filter. It makes it easy to change the colors. You can even let chat control it if you want to. Look at that, I'm typing in my chat and it's randomly changing the color. Here I make some sort of 3D coin. Then after that, in a different video, I showed the updated version of that plugin. And as you can see, you can extrude pretty much anything with an alpha channel with transparency, basically. So yeah, you can have 3D guns in OBS Studio. I showed an example of a proper 3D rendered knife, and I showed that you could probably easily do it within OBS Studio. Will look different because reflection, textures, and all that, but technically it is not impossible. That is in OBS Studio. Again, logos, how you can probably design your own panels, slap that 3D effect on it, animate the whole thing and have some depth effects. All this yapping to say, 1, watch my videos. 2, if you have an idea in mind, just make it. 3, let's make that damn Zune. If you want to do it with the least amount of effort possible, you could literally just get an image from Google Images. Look at that, has a decent size. I can right click, save image as. Oh, but it has like white all around it. It's not transparent. It doesn't matter. I'll save it here as a JPEG. In OBS Studio, I would go to source, add an image source, call it Zune, click OK, browse and find that image, double click, and blow, you have it in OBS, okay? I can press Ctrl D to center it. Then I would go to Horichen's Twitter. I would find any mention of the 3D Block plugin, and I would download and install it. Or, just search it. Would you look at that? It brings me directly to the download link. Now that's the script. You will download the script. Then in OBS Studio, you would go to Tools, Scripts, add a new script, and go find that script. Once the script is in here, you will have a new filter called the 3D Block filter. Now you can grab your Zune, go to your filters, add a new filter, select 3D Block, click OK. Realize that technically you already have your Zune in 3D, but since the image wasn't transparent, it's taking the white parts into account. So you would add a mask before. So We're going to use another plugin called Advanced Mask Filter. I have multiple videos on this one, and basically mask out everything that we don't want, which is very simple here because basically the only settings that we need, let me put it here. The only settings that we need is the corner radius. So I'm just going to scroll until it looks like the outside disappears. There we go. We just made a rounded rectangle. Now I can select my 3D block, put it underneath that, which takes it into account, and booyah, you have a 3D Zune that you can animate. Now, I feel like, oh, the back is not perfect. You can find a picture of the back and upload it right here in the filter. And if you want to add your music player, basically place it, put both of them in a group, and then add the 3D block to that group. And it will be stuck to it basically. All right, that should show it a little bit better. So yeah, I don't mean to sound rude or anything like that. I've been doing this for years now. For about 8 years, I've been really like repeating myself. I don't expect everyone to have seen all of my videos. That is preposterous, but I definitely noticed that this is something that happens a lot. I will show a tool and then people will be like, well, I wish it was blue. Even though within the video where I showed the tool, I showed you that you can change the colors and you can do whatever you want with it, basically. People just focus on the one example that I give and basically reproach that I did not show every single example in the world, every possibility, or somehow something that caters to them in particular. But also it's very difficult for me to gauge which subjects I should revisit, which things should I be repeating. As I said, this was a repost of an old tweet and it still got this reach now. It's very hard to figure out when I should be repeating myself versus teaching new stuff, basically. But yeah, every information in this video that you just watched was already said in 2 different other videos and posted multiple times on my Twitter. Oh yeah, and then there's the wiggle where it can just animate itself a little bit, float around on its own, which I really like. I've seen people use the Game Boy filter on their camera and then put it on a PNG of a Game Boy. And I'm like, put it in a group, add the 3D block filter to the group. And now you have a 3D Game Boy that can, you know, be floating around like that if you want, or just stay static, or just go up and down depending on when you press a shortcut or when chat types a command. Some people have made the Game Boy Advance super easy, just like I made the Switch directly in OBS. Some people have made the Nintendo DS with like their camera up top and then the gameplay at the bottom or something like that. Anyways, that's enough rambling for today.